Welcome to InCabin from the creators of AutoSens. InCabin connects the global community of automotive interior specialists working on in-cabin safety, comfort, and productivity solutions through industry-leading events and knowledge sharing. We are joined by Chris Varlamos, Technical Marketing Manager for Automotive Imagers for the Americas at STMicroelectronics. Chris, welcome to InCabin. Thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me, Carl.
Chris, can you give us, to start here, a good overview of STMicroelectronics and in particular your imaging technology?
Great, yeah, no, great question, Carl. Thank you again. Thanks again for having me here too. STMicroelectronics has been in imaging for over 20 years. Besides automotive, you can find ST technology in everything from smartphones to drones, industrial applications, and the cleaning robots too. We're leveraging that technology and bringing all the goodness of it into automotive.
Chris, I think you read my mind here for this next question if we're talking automotive. So, what are the current in-cabin automotive sensing applications?
Yes, Carl. Yeah. There's two primary ones for driver monitoring and occupant monitoring. For driver monitoring, you're doing the typical things we do for looking at drowsiness, awareness, driving under the influence, vital signs monitoring, and hands-off driving. And also, there's some new applications in augmented reality and head-up displays. For occupant monitoring, we're monitoring the passenger's presence and objects. Things like child presence detection or vital signs monitoring, smart airbag deployment for the passengers, looking at objects left behind for robotaxi applications, and also gesture recognition. Those are the primary features for occupant monitoring.
Chris, when it comes to the evolution of in-cabin technologies, OMS and DMS and things like that, how has this whole landscape evolved over the last few years?
Great question, Carl, too. Over the years, the first applications were just driver monitoring cameras. They were a single camera lit up with NIR LEDs or VCSELs and about 1 megapixel too. And that's evolved when the need for occupant monitoring cameras came along too. We had a separate camera, one for DMS, one for OMS. Also, same illumination with the LED or VCSEL, and those are 1 to 2 megapixels. Now the evolution of that is doing a single camera kind of mounted in the center of the cabin to do a hybrid camera to do DMS and OMS too. And that same illumination options for LED or VCSELs, and it's about 5 megapixel too.
When it comes to cybersecurity, what's the application there? And is cybersecurity required? Is it necessary for these in-cabin image sensors that we've been talking about?
Yes, security is required for camera and video stream authentication. We really need to ensure that the sensor stream is trusted and data has not been modified. Also, we need to ensure that the image sensor cannot be used as an entry point for system attack. Another application for that too, Carl, is brand protection. We also need to use security for brand protection. We need to ensure that the original sensor is used and someone does not substitute another imager which they could use as an entry point. So ST has a long history. We have IP from set-top boxes and banking divisions, and we're bringing that IP to give a lot of security, from very light security to Fort Knox type security in our cybersecurity for imagers.
We're speaking today with Chris Varlamos, Technical Marketing Manager for Automotive Imagers for the Americas at STMicroelectronics. We've been discussing the evolution of OMS and DMS and cybersecurity as well. Chris, when it comes to the use cases for 3D depth sensing in automotive, tell us a little bit more about that, the use cases for 3D depth sensing in automotive. What's your perspective there?
Yes, Carl, there are several strong cases for 3D depth sensing, both inside and outside the vehicle. ST has several technologies in their portfolio that we could use, like stereo camera, structured light, or indirect time of flight. However, we think the direct time of flight or hybrid cameras with a direct time of flight and CMOS imager will be the technologies of choice for automotive. Another technology called TDM also shows some promise. Some diffractive coatings in the lens and getting distance through triangulation is also something new. But basically, we're using these applications for augmented reality HUD, driver authentication, touchless activation, basically, and also Sentry mode, which is really important. I know that's a feature that Tesla has currently then too, but a lot of automakers are wanting to replicate that type of application where somebody comes up the vehicle, it'll alert the owner of the vehicle and turn on cameras and things. So we see that application being very popular. Other things they're doing, child left behind detection, occupancy monitoring, and health and vital signs. What is the health of the driver? It'd be great to be in the vehicle every time you drive and get a checkup, basically, and know that your health is still good. So those things are really important.
Chris Varlamos, Technical Marketing Manager for Automotive Imagers for the Americas at STMicroelectronics, talking about some very interesting, timely, and relevant things here when it comes to OMS and DMS. As you mentioned before, all of the occupant monitoring, whether that's for impairment, whether that's for vital signs, the importance of cybersecurity. Chris, thank you for sharing your expertise and your thought leadership with us. Let's do an interview like this again sometime, hopefully sooner than later. But in the meantime, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Carl.
For more information on STMicroelectronics and to find out more about our upcoming events, see the links in the description or visit InCabin.com. That's InCabin.com. And for more in-depth interviews like this, subscribe to this YouTube channel and follow InCabin on LinkedIn. In Detroit, on behalf of InCabin, I'm Carl Anthony.